A feeling out process and the get a better look process are fully underway for the final stretch of the 2013 Phillies season. The future of the organization is already on display on a nightly basis, and looking forward, there are plenty of positive signs. A weekend sweep of the first-place Braves was also a clear sign that the top of the rotation is ready for the path ahead. It's a first here at Citizens Bank Park. That's right, it's a bark in the park. We've seen it all across Major League Baseball, but the venture happens here in South Philadelphia for the first time here tonight on a hot evening. Summer has returned as the San Diego Padres come to town to begin a three-game series and wrap up this long homestand for the Phillies. Now, the Phillies have had a lot of success against the San Diego Padres since both ballparks opened, Petco and Citizens Bank Park. The last 35 games, the Phillies are 25-10. Earned run average for the starters, outstanding. More home runs, and, of course, more runs than the Padres. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Chris Wheeler. When the Phillies faced the Padres earlier this year, they took 2 of 3. They're hoping for the same kind of success this week here at Citizens Bank Park. And tonight, they'll give the baseball to Tyler Cloyd.
Yeah, Tom, they like to play off the really good baseball they played over the weekend. Even against Washington, they lost 2 out of 3, but played some real good baseball in those games. Want to keep it up against the San Diego Padres. Tyler Cloyd, he slides back into the starting rotation right now after Ethan Martin is in the bullpen. They haven't had a chance to use Martin out of the pen yet. Cloyd has really struggled in this ballpark, but he did a great job his last time out when he pitched in that long extra inning game. As a starter here, though, it's been a different story. Really struggled, not able to keep the ball in the ballpark. Maybe it's a mental thing. It could be a physical thing with him. It's hard to really tell, but the kind of stuff that he has sometimes just does not match up to this ballpark because he has a tendency to get the ball up, and it kind of flies out of here when he's on the mound. You see what he did at Lehigh Valley this year? He was very successful last year, especially for the Phillies. Okay this year, but he is a guy they think has a chance to keep him in the game. He's their best option right now as a starting pitcher tonight with Ethan Martin going back into the bullpen. When Tyler Cloyd pitches, you know there's going to be contact in the game, and it's up to him whether he can have his location or not.
Oh, with the off day yesterday, everybody's ready in the bullpen if they need them, including Ethan Martin, who Ryan Sandberg said today he is hoping to get him into a game in the next couple of days. It's game 1 of a 3-game series, the Phillies and the Padres. Cloyd will be opposed by hard-throwing right-hander Andrew Kashner, former number 1 pick of the Chicago Cubs. Well, there's no doubt that the rookies, the youngsters, have done a nice job for the Phillies. Over the last 23 games, the Phillies are 13-10, and Cody Asche and Darren Rupp have played a big role in that. When we return, we'll get to the lineups at first pitch, which both are in. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Anheuser-Busch. A reminder from Budweiser, great times are waiting. Designated driver. By Toyota. Toyota's nationwide clearance event is going on now. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity, the official HD triple play provider of your Phillies. By Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? And by Independence Blue Cross, the most preferred health plan in the region. Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. some of man's best friends settling in for their first opportunity to take a look at this old yard. They've been in plenty of yards before, but nothing like this. It's the bark in the park. That's the old standby wheels. Give me 5.
It's so cute.
Crowd milling around Ashburn Alley. Padres in town for their only visit here in 2013. Let's take a look at their lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at right field, Will Venable. Batting second is the left fielder, Chris DeNorfia. Jed Jerko, the second baseman, bats third. Chase Headley hits fourth. Kyle Blanks is at first base. He'll bat fifth. Alexi Amarista, the center fielder, hits sixth. And the bottom third of Cedeno Rivera and Cashner will face right-hander Tyler Cloyd. Tyler overall this year 2-3 with the Phillies with a 3.57 ERA.
Yeah, and in this ballpark, 0-4 with a 6.43 earned run average in 5 starts over 2 seasons. So that's something Tyler would really like to come out here, pitch well. He did a great job in that long 18-inning extra inning game. Pitched 5 innings in that, almost won the game twice with his bat. Here's our Budweiser scouting report on Tyler Cloyd, and going to use a lot of cutters and try to command his pitches, and he has to do that a little bit better in this ballpark because you pay a price for it here if you don't. Well, it is time now for our Nissan keys to tonight's game, and summertime has returned. Another major league debut for the Phillies tonight, this time behind the plate in Cameron Ruff and the Padres here in September. It's different.
Kind of doing a double take when you see them on the schedule here in September. They come in with a record of 65-77.
The Phillies will be in San Diego next year in September. The schedule was released today.
Yeah, we'll get to some tidbits about that schedule in just a little bit. Will Venable leads things off, fresh off a new contract extension. He swings at the first pitch up to shallow right field. Darren Ruff finds it and then gives way to Bernardino, who probably had an angle where he could see it a little clearer. Although Darren looked like he was comfortable. You never know. Sometimes with a sky like this, the guy coming from the other angle sees it a little better than the guy settling under.
Yeah, and it's good to communicate like that, too, because they had some instances there where they were losing a lot of balls in the twilight. And just to make sure, come and help your teammate.
86 degrees and getting warmer here at Philadelphia. It's supposed to be in the 90s tomorrow. And then they'll cool back off on Thursday. Here's Chris DeNorfia. He's hitting 4 straight for the Padres. Takes outside. 1 ball and no strikes. DeNorfia overall hitting .273 with 9 home runs. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Tyler Cloyd this year in AAA was 5-9, an earned run average of 4.71. He does work quickly. And he's got his former battery mate, the big hoss, behind the plate, and Cameron Rupp making his major league debut for the Phillies.
That's some target.
He is a big, strong guy. Series the Padres just finished. DeNorfia was 2 for 7. That was a sweep of the Rockies. Inside, 3-2. On deck hitter is Jed Jerko. Swing and a miss. He got it with a cutter. 2 outs here in the first.
2 different styles of pitching we're going to see tonight. There's that little cutter. He always thought it was a slider when he first came up. Now it's a cutter. And their guy tonight really throws hard.
Here's Jed Jerko. He was not with the Padres when the Phillies were in San Diego. That's when the Phillies took 2 of 3 from the Padres and helped them to a tailspin that took them into the All-Star break. They were kind of like the Phillies after the All-Star break. They really struggled, which is what dipped their overall win-loss record under the 500 mark.
They were so similar to the Phillies because they started on an East Coast trip, won the first game, then lost 9 in a row. And they started the season 5-15. Tough to overcome those 2, let's call them valleys, in the course of a season, because that's a lot of games under 500.
Towering fly ball to left field. Going back on it is Galvis, back to the wall, and it is off the top of the wall. Bernardina's there to back it up. And Jerko will stop at second.
So we're talking about fly balls in this ballpark, and that's a problem with Tyler. He has to try and keep it down to the point where he keeps it out of the air, because it's hot here tonight, as everybody knows, and this ball really carried, and look how much it misses a home run by.
Wow.
Right off the top of the Xfinity sign out there and back into play.
Well, good job by Mike Winters, who's the second base umpire. He went running out to make sure that he had a view of what was happening out there. So 2 away. Here's Chase Headley. Headley's been better in the second half of the season for the Padres, but overall, compared to last year, it's a rather disappointing season. He's about 70 RBIs less this year than last year.
He had a wrist injury. He's hurt early in the year, and that's setting back a little bit. He got off to a decent start after the injury, but he just, as Tom said, his numbers are just way down. This guy who had an outstanding season last year.
He had over 100 RBIs. He's ahead 1 ball, no strikes. And he rips that one foul. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think he's a free agent this year.
That's a good question.
I'm trying to remember. I thought I read where he was a free agent. It'd be interesting to see what they do with him if he is.
They just signed Venable to an extension.
There you go. 1 year ago. Look at the difference.
He signed through this year.
Yeah. So, you know, he's not coming off the year he came off last year. So what do the Padres do? Do they think, what do we have? Do we have this guy, or do we have the guy we had last year? And do we lock him in long term, or do we let him walk? And then see what another team decides to do with him.
2 balls, 1 strike to Headley. Ground ball toward the right side. That'll sneak through for a base hit. Rounding third, heading for home is Jerko. The throw by Ruff is up the line. It goes off the facing of the Padres dugout. It's an RBI single, and it's 1-0 San Diego. So that's RBI number 39 for Chase Headley.
Yeah, Headley pulls this ball towards the hole. Chase Utley is playing over there for him to pull, couldn't get to it. Then the throw has no chance. And you see where the Phillies really got lucky there. That thing didn't go down the steps.
Well, here's Kyle Blanks. 22 extra base hits this year. And he takes strike 1. It's 0-1.
This is a big guy.
He's a big guy.
Whew.
He looks like he would be playing on Sunday afternoons at this point.
Or
a couple years ago, it would be Saturday afternoons.
Or in the NBA.
Or in the NBA.
Either or. He reminds you of well, I think he's even bigger. Body mass size of Dave Winfield, who was such an unbelievable athlete in so many sports and had a great career with the Padres before moving on to the Yankees.
6'6", 265 pounds.
Is Winfield about 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah, he's 6'6", yep.
Yeah.
No balls and 2 strikes to Blanks. Tyler Cloyd is starting tonight. This would have been Ethan Martin's spot in the rotation. Ethan, though, is working out of the bullpen.
Birthday, Blanks. Going out tonight. Party hard.
Ground ball to shortstop. Jimmy Rollins waits for it. And in time to get Blanks to the side. He's retired. But the Padres strike first. They get a run on 2 base hits. Look, Wills and Shaggy DA has arrived at the ballpark. We'll be back with the Bills at the bottom of the first. It's brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports. Leading it off at center field, Roger Bernardino. Batting second, the shortstop, Jimmy Rollins. Chase Utley hits third, followed by Darren Ruff and Kevin Franzen. Cody Ashley's over at third base. He'll bat sixth. And the bottom third of Galvis, Rupp making his major league debut. And Tyler Cloyd will face right-hander Andrew Kashner, former #1 pick out of the Chicago Cubs organization. He is a hard-throwing right-hander.
Yeah, he sure is. When we first saw him, he was a starter in their system, but then they made him into a reliever. He threw around 100 miles an hour because he just went out there and fired. Then they moved him over to San Diego back in the starting rotation. As you look at our Budweiser scouting report, he'll average around 95 with his fastball. Evidently has much better command of it right now. Slider, changeup, hasn't pitched in 9 days and threw 119 pitches his last time out. He hasn't won for a while, but they don't score for him.
First pitch to Bernardino is taken low, so it's 1 ball and no strikes. He is out of TCU, former #1 pick in 2008 by the Cubs. He'll be 27 years old tomorrow. He was acquired by the Padres in January of 2012. And that was a deal that sent Anthony Rizzo to the Cubs. Rizzo with 21 home runs this year for Chicago. And the Padres got Kyung-Min Na and Kashner. That ball's hit towards second. And it's in time for out number 1. So Bernardino's retired.
Difference in Kashner, they say now as a starter, can add a little, take a little off his fastball. And that's the whole thing about keeping hitters off balance. You keep throwing the same speed all the time, they'll get you. They'll time you hit, they'll time a pitcher after a while. But you throw that hard and you take a little off, sink it once in a while, it'll be effective.
Jimmy Rollins stands in for the Phillies. Rollins is 0 for 3 lifetime against Kashner. 2 for 6 of the series against the Braves, and he takes a strike.
A nice, easy delivery. Very simple. And it jumps out of his hand. He's ready to go, too.
Yeah, he and Cloyd both are ready to go. And that one's a little high, 1 and 2.
There's your 97.
Swing and a miss. He got it with a breaking ball. So 1 or 2 away here in the first. As Rollins is struck out.
See what a nice, easy delivery that is. Good leg kick. Gets the leg back. Gets a weight on the back leg. Big strider. Oh, really jumps out of his hand, too. Talking to Mark Grant about him, the broadcaster, the Padres broadcaster, says it looks like sometimes his fastball fades a little bit, which really can fool a left-handed hitter when it has that kind of movement away from him.
Chase Utley 4 for 12 in the series against the Braves. Though he swept that series, of course. They've won 4 of 6 on this homestand so far. Utley taking his time in the box. Good luck at McDonald's. Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Marion Merkel of Lansdale. Phillies hit a home run in today's ballgame. Then Marion will win $100. Utley pulls it toward the right side. Picked up by Jerko. Kashner's there to cover. And the putout goes 4-1. So the side is retired inward. It's a 10-pitch first inning. We go to the second. The Padres with the early lead when we come back. Well, tomorrow and Thursday, the Padres and the Phillies will get together for the last 2 games of this homestand. Both games are at 7:05. Tomorrow, Cliff Lee, off a very good start his last time out, will make the start for the Phillies, and then Roy Halladay will start on Thursday. So that's been a little bit of a switch from earlier this week. Again, you can get your tickets by going to Phillies.com. Here's Alexi Amarista, who will lead things off. And he hits the first pitch back toward the middle. Rollins to his left, has to hurry, and gets it there in time. So just like the first inning, 1 pitch, 1 set aside. And Ronnie Cedeno's coming up. Well, we mentioned before, this is the first time the Phillies have had a bark in the park where they've invited some dogs to come to the yard. And Murph has found some of
of course I have.
man's best friend out there at Ashburn Alley. Murph?
Yeah, you know what? Actually, Tom, we're on top of the Budweiser Wolf Top tonight is where we are. And yes, surrounded by man's best friend. In fact, I've got Hova in front of me. I've got Apple and Poppy behind me, and everybody enjoying themselves. What a great night it is. And let me speak with you, Apple's owner here. Got your tickets online, and then you got a free bowl and also a donation to Paws, right? It's a perfect event. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's a great event. We've been wanting to do it for a while. We were looking for the Phillies to do it, and they did it. And as soon as we saw it, we bought the tickets, and Apple's so excited to be here.
It seems like the dogs are very excited to watch baseball and to be part. There's about 50 dogs up here on the Wolf Top, Tom, and I got to tell you, if I had my dog up here, it would be absolute chaos because my dog Dublin would not be handling this well. But the dogs that are up here are doing a remarkable job. Everyone getting along. So a terrific night up here, and I have polled all the dogs to find out who their favorite player was. It was unanimous, Tom.
Here we go.
It's Darren Ruff.
Oh, boy.
That's all I got, man.
That's pretty good, though, Murph.
Thank you.
Murph, what did you think of that?
When did I think about that? About a week ago. I've been holding up all week to use that joke.
That was good. Good delivery.
Thank you very much.
Well, that's great. Well, Murph, if you're out there much longer, you got to give us a count on the breeds, the kind of dogs that are out there the most. Any real big dogs out there? We saw some of the sheep dogs.
Yeah, we have some big ones that are walking around. There's a lot behind the bleachers right here that you can't see. But some big ones. Now, I'll be honest with you. I'm not up on my dog breeds as well as I should be, but I'll ask around and I'll get back to you on that. But some big ones and some little ones, all together and getting along just perfectly.
I know there's one
no
There's one Siberian Husky out there somewhere because friends of mine have that out there with the big blue eyes.
Wheels, you know your dogs better than I do. I know that.
Some of them.
Yeah, but a very fun night. And we should mention that part of the proceeds tonight, part of the ticket price, $10, being donated by the Phillies to Paws, which is an excellent organization and does so much for animals, and so that's part of the ticket price tonight. And also representatives from Paws in the ballpark collecting supplies that you can donate at the first and third base gates. So just a great night for everyone involved. The first inaugural bark at the park.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. A quick getting for Tyler Cloyd. Man's best friend, getting a chance to see our national pastime in person. The Bronx Tale star Chaz Palminteri joins us in studio. All that and more on Philly Sports Talk with Michael Bark, Ken, only on Comcast Sportsnet.
Bark is a good name for tonight, huh?
Jeff Halleckman, our producer, gave me that one.
It's like rough. Now we need a wolf somewhere.
Murph was trying to get one of the dogs. If he asked one of the owners who their favorite Philly was, he was trying to get one of the dogs to bark.
Yeah. That shouldn't be a problem out there. But down there in the truck.
It sounds like my backyard at like 3 a.m. when the dogs go out.
That's not good.
Here is Darren Ruff. He'll lead things off. 250 hitter, 13 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Darren 3 for 16 on the homestand, but it was his home run that won the game for the Phillies in their final game against the Braves in the bottom of the 8th inning. And the first pitch from Cashner. Fastball in there. It's 0-1.
We had really good plate coverage in that at bat on the 3-2 fastball away, and that's one of the things that, you know, he just needs to get a little bit better. You see he's way off the plate in that open stance, and they pitch him away a lot now, like that, with sliders away. And if he can take them and get the fastball count the way that he did the other day, he's had a lot of deep counts in the last couple games.
Well, it's 13 home runs, 4th among rookies. And he takes one right down the chute for a called strike 3.
Here's a home run on the fastball away. It tailed back a little bit from David Carpenter. The wind was blowing like crazy out in that direction. Got up into it and hit it out of the ballpark. Really nice win for the Phillies there, especially going to the off-day.
Cashner has 2 strikeouts so far, and it brings Kevin Franzen up. Kevin was 4 for 9 against Atlanta.
Just so an example why you can't guess with 2 strikes off a guy like this. Way too much fastball to react to.
Breaking ball, and it's 0-1.
You're not going to just get an emergency swing on one of his fastballs too often.
Fastball, it's 0-2. Just trying to stay alive with the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Oh, nice grab by a fan of the suite level. He grabbed it, he dropped it, but then he was able to smother it against the wall. Watch this. Has it, lost it, smothered it. Boy, Kevin Franzen just fouled that one off his foot. He hasn't done that in a while.
Yeah, and he's very appreciative of that fact that he hasn't, because he does this a lot. Oh, hit the back foot.
I couldn't tell.
Could have hit his back foot there, because you see he has a protection on the inside of that left ankle. That thing was running in on him. Boy, this guy really has a live fastball. There's the first 98.
That one's floated out toward right. Misread for a moment by Venable, but he makes the catch, so there are 2 outs. And Franzen is limping back to the dugout. Cody Ashe's had a good homestand, although he's 0 for his last 8. Overall, he's 7 for 19. And he takes just above the knees, 0-1.
Continue to play good defense.
Yeah, they were out there again today, which they do quite often, taking ground balls before the start of their afternoon.
First game of series, they have some things they like to do, and of course on the road it's entirely different. First game, I want to go out and have batting practice, everything, check out the outfield walls. But Brian Sandberg's really big on doing drills.
That one's to right field also. Venable is there. Side is retired. So 2 softly hit balls to right and a strikeout. Cashner's faced 6. He's retired the first 6. We'll go to the 3rd here in South Philadelphia. Phillies.com. Go to the fan section for all the information, and please submit your answer on the subject line. Wheels, the question is, who was the first player selected by the Padres in the 1968 expansion draft? Seems like you have a pretty good idea who that is.
I got to guess.
Well, we go to the top of the 3rd. Padres are up 1-0 on an RBI single by Chase Headley. Here's Cashner, who's a pretty good hitter.
How about a bunter? He has 4 bunt hits. He's attempted 9 bunts this year for base hits, and he has 4 hits.
Well, the corners are back. They better be careful. He's swinging away. It's 0-1.
He looks like a guy who wants to swing away. Big as he is, big and strong looking as he is.
Hit a home run against the Arizona Diamondbacks a couple weeks ago. 13 hits overall and 44 at bats.
There it
shows
is.
bunt. And he takes low and away, 1-1.
It's right there on the stuff that he likes to bunt. Get a third baseman way back and drop one down there.
He bunts again. Cloyd off the mound. Bare hands. Has to hurry. Gets it there. Monday, September 16th. It's the final Hatfield Dollar Dog Night. All 3 games for that series against the Marlins are at 7:05. Tickets are available by going to Phillies.com. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So at a Major League scoreboard, the Marlins lead the Braves 3-2 in the bottom of the 1st. Got a little offense rolling around there.
And Madeline pitched a great game last night against them. Had that changeup really working well.
Venable takes high. It's 1-0.
Nationals went out and had BP against the Mets.
And Gio Gonzalez nearly threw a no-hitter.
Yeah, 1 hitter and 5 homers they hit in that game.
First time that any team, Mets or visitors, has hit 5 home runs at Citi Field.
Yeah, they were lighting up that Torres, the guy that pitched so well against the Phillies, like they knew it was coming.
Venable Campbell's having a breakout kind of year. 21 home runs, 17 stolen bases. Oh, Dave Roberts still quick on his feet.
He was really quick as a player, and he's quick as a coach, as you say. He's talking to Franson right now about that one. Like, look out. I got a glove. You don't.
That one's over toward Franson, and he picks it on one hop.
Well, you have to feel him if you're Franson. Something's coming my way. Got a little humpback liner in that one, though, with a little short hop. Good play.
Breaking ball, that's a curveball, and it's 0-1. Mostly cutters, though. His breaking pitch is generally his cutter. That curveball, 76 miles an hour. There it was again. They appeal. No swings as Tim Timmons.
Watching Cameron Rupp, how he receives the ball back, they're pretty smooth for a guy as big as he is. Talking about in the clubhouse and the coaches and Ryan Sandberg, they said, we're going to find out too.
One thing they did say today is that they're excited to see what he can do.
Right. Dave Brundage had him at AAA, and there's Ryan Sandberg, and asking him about him, he said he's okay back there. You know, he didn't sound like he was going to bubble over that he's his all-time great receiver, but he made it sound like he's pretty good.
Chase Utley moves to his left a couple steps in a 1-2-3 inning. So back-to-back 1-2-3 innings for Tyler Cloyd. Well, it's always nice when the Fanatic can welcome our buddy Mark Grant to Philadelphia. Mark has been around the block a time or two, so this is nothing all that surprising. Further by Citizens Bank, where good banking is good citizenship. Isn't it time you experience good banking? And by Mazda, we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Bottom of the third. It's a nice night. Feels like July more than it feels like September at this point.
Except they got dark too quick.
It did get dark. It's
funny to see it dark this fast when it's this hot. Doesn't really match up.
Freddie Galvis will lead it off. Galvis 5 for 16 on the homestand, but all 5 hits came against the Braves. And a foul ball. It's 0-1.
Yeah, one of that game winner. There's Cameron Rupp getting ready for his first major league plate appearance.
Should be out of play. And it is. 0-2. Rivera, the catcher, just gave it a look. That was hit up a silo. It was that high.
Maybe get that far out in front of a guy that throws his hard. Hit on that side of home plate. That shallow.
Swing and a miss. He gets him with a breaking ball. So 3 strikeouts for Cashner. He's retired the first 7 hitters that he's faced. And that'll bring Cameron Rupp to the plate for his first major league at-bats.
Plano, Texas, where Chris James, former Phillies outfielder, came from. I guess that's family and friends there. Huh?
Yeah, his dad Kevin, who played in the Montreal Expos organization, his family in that section, getting a chance to see Cameron make his major league debut. Swing and a miss. He had 258 combined this year with 14 home runs and 45 runs batted in. Originally drafted by the Pirates out of high school, then decided to go to the University of Texas.
Why throwing him sliders right out of the chute? Hey, big guy like this, give him one fastball to hit. See what happens. 2 breaking balls. There it was when he took it.
Start of the year, it was Tommy Joseph that was the top catching prospect for the Phillies, but he was plagued with concussions all year. Kind of open up the door for Rupp, who shoots it foul.
Watch Rupp in his first round of BP today. Nice play out there. Guy with a glove. And he was just trying to hit balls the other way like that. And then as BP went along, he can hit them a long way. Of course, it's batting practice. And it's 5:30 what he's doing. Big difference. But you can see how strong he is.
And his last handful of games down in AAA, his last 21 games, he hit over 300. He had 319. And he's even it up 2-2.
3 out of 4 sliders. Looks like Dad's giving a little play-by-play. See 3 breaking balls so far.
That's low. 3-2. 97 on that fastball.
Now, son, get in a fastball hitting mode.
3-2 pitch. Breaking ball swung on and missed, and down on strikes. 4 strikeouts for Cashner.
Probably hasn't hit 8 a whole lot too with the pitcher behind.
Oh, that is true.
Where you're going to get 3-2 sliders. Ooh, this one. Ooh.
So Cashner has 4 strikeouts, and that'll bring Tyler Cloyd to the plate.
Look at fastball all the way, but you're the 8-hole hitter, even though you're a large guy to be hitting 8th, and you got a 3-2 slider.
Murph, what was he saying today about making his major league debut? I know he's worked hard. He's been working in the bullpen. He's been doing a lot of extra stuff to get himself ready for this opportunity. Well, we'll get back to Murph in a moment. 1 ball and no strikes to Cloyd. Grounds it toward third. Scooped up by Headley. And the side is retired. So 9 up, 9 down. The Phillies do not have a hit or a base runner through the first 3 innings. So Cashner and the Padres lead at 1-0 as we go to the top of the 4th. If your office floor is littered with sunflower seeds or your uniform is dirty from a diving catch, WB Mason can handle any mess. For an all-star selection of cleaning supplies, go to WBMason.com. Place your order by 11:30 and receive your delivery today. Now, very quickly, 3 in the books here at Citizens Bank Park. It's a 1-0 lead for the Padres. Tyler Cloyd has retired 7 straight after an RBI single by Chase Headley. Meanwhile, Andrew Kashner has brought a big-time fastball to the yard tonight, Sarge, and he's retired 9. Cameron Rupp got his first at-bat in a Phillies uniform.
Yeah, can't look for both those pitches. Had a decent little slide piece, breaking away from the right-handed batters, and then he has the nerve to take some off of that pitch just to make sure he gets it down and away.
Well, here's Jed Jerko, who doubled his first time up to give help Kashner to a 1-0 lead. And a line drive, base hit, softly hit into left field. So a double and a single now for Jerko. And here's Headley.
Well, Tyler has to make sure he keeps that ball down and hits its spots. The pitch. That's basically where he would like to keep that ball. Away from the left-handers. Same way with the right-handers. Keep the ball down, mixing in the off-speed pitch.
Well, there you go. No balls and 2 strikes as he mixes in a changeup. Headley's base hit his first time up. It was just a ground ball, basically, but it was at the right spot between Franzen, who was shaded toward the line, and Chase Utley. At second base, Utley now shades over a little bit more at double play depth.
Good pitch there on the outside part of the plate.
Sure was.
For whatever reason, anytime you have players that first come into the league, they're always tested, whether or not they're a pitcher, whether or not they are a hitter. Umpires want to see what you're going to say, how you're going to react on different close pitches. Pitchers definitely don't want to say too much for the fear that they won't get pitches there on the corners.
Well, that was the same pitch. This time Headley fouled it back. I think that if that's the case, if they're holding out because they want to see how a player reacts, that's a shame.
That's all that happens all the time. Rookie players, you face a veteran pitcher, he's going to get the benefit of the doubt, and usually vice versa. That's been happening for a long time.
Swing and a miss. He got him with an off-speed pitch, and that's the 3rd strikeout for Tyler Cloyd. Final home games of the 2013 regular season. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. Sunday, the 22nd, is Fan Appreciation Day. All fans coming to Citizens Bank Park will receive the Phillies schedule magnet, compliments of Independence Blue Cross. Tickets are available at Phillies.com. Kyle Blank's grounded out to short his first time up, so he's 0 for 1.
Pretty big guy. You expect for him to hit more home runs than what he has. Only 8. Not a lot of at-bats. 240 to date.
That one's lined to left field. That's in for a base hit. Galvis cuts it off. Jerko holds up at second.
Well, I can't tell you what a great play Galvis made out in left field. That ball would have gone all the way to the wall, hit like a bullet. He's able to get a good jump on it, get over, cut the ball off the way that you're supposed to. Take a look at it right there, and it's even hooking as he picks the ball. No big deal at all for those kind of plays, simply because he's used to catching ground balls. in the infield. In the outfield, hey, it's just a sunny day in the park, so to speak, and catching any of those kind of ground balls, line drives, good pitch.
Well, that'll bring Amarista to the plate. He's playing center field. Cameron Maybin is on the disabled list for the Padres. Amarista has played in 128 games this year for San Diego. Inside, 1-1.
If Galvis doesn't cut that ball off, now you'd have runners at first and third, or maybe at second and third.
Yeah, because Banks runs pretty well.
Sure does for a big guy. That almost looked like a swing. I guess he checked it.
A young lady enjoying a night at the ballpark. Could be her first. Also enjoying the lanyard around her mom's neck. Fly ball right center field. That's pretty well hit. Bernardina's going back. Jerko's going back to tag from second. And Bernardina's throw is going to go to second base. That's a little guy that packed a little punch right there.
Yeah. You can see how important that is to try and first and third runners. That runner at third, that would be an easy RBI.
That'll bring Ronnie Cedeno to the plate. He grounded out to Rollins his only time up. He's 0 for 1. The veteran Ronnie Cedeno.
Yes, going from teams to team. One time was touted as one of the best shortstops for the Chicago Cubs.
And he lines that one down the left field line, a base hit. That's going to score at least one. And if Banks goes to third, he'll hold up there. So Blanks is at third. Cedeno's at second, an RBI double. It's 2-0 San Diego. Well, that's what you're talking about, Sarge, about trying to keep the ball down. He's done a nice job of that tonight, but that pitch right there was left up in the zone.
Yeah, and not only that, Cedeno, one of those players, doesn't really hit the breaking ball. As you can see how high Cody got up. You get 2 early strikes there on Cedeno, you can get him with a ball in the dirt, but you get that ball up. Best pitch probably he was going to see. He jumped right on it.
Rivera struck out his only time up. And he hits that one toward the alley in right center field. Ruff on his way. He's not going to get it. It'll split the gap, and 2 more runs will score, and all of a sudden it's 4-0 San Diego. It's a 3-run 4th inning for the Padres.
Well, you look where those pitchers are. They're all up in the zone. Not going to be able to get away with that, especially first pitch when hitters are looking for a fastball. Pretty good job here, not overswinging. Look at that, going the other way as he splits the gap. No chance for anyone to get him. Automatic double when you see it in that area or more. For a pitcher, this guy's got a pretty good swing.
Sure does.
I got to tell you what, that's a lot of speed for a big guy. Not a pitching like he's a regular player. Good pitch. And that's where he's got to live. He's got to live down in the zone, and he'll get less damage. When you start to get it up, that's when the hitters are able to see the ball a lot better. Going to be able to stop the bleeding right now.
stays alive, gets a piece of it. It remains 2-2. Ball got a piece of the catcher, Cameron Rupp. Now 3 runs have scored here in the 4th to make it 4-0 San Diego. Is he being too careful with this guy, Sarge?
Well, he's trying to keep it down, and already has 1 home run to his credit this year, but he's got to be able to find a way to get this pitcher out. You can always tell, too, if they're a little bit too careful, just missing, but then not enough speed there where he's just not letting it go, trusting his arm. And the ball's hit hard like that, though. It'll make you a little testy there.
That one's back in front of us and into the Hall of Fame club. Will Venables on deck. And a called strike 3. Thank goodness Castro thought that was ball 4. He was heading to first, but 3-run score for the Padres here in the top of the 4th. They leave 1 in scoring position. We go to the bottom of the 4th. Or your local dealer today. By Anheuser-Busch. A reminder from Budweiser. Great times are waiting. Designated driver. And by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most innovative lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Bottom of the 4th inning here at Citizens Bank Park. That's just at the foot of Harry the K's. Folks enjoying a night at the ballpark. I always like that vantage point out there in left field.
Oh, it is nice.
I really like if you sit up in the second deck of Harry the K's, that area there. Even on a hot night like this, it's a little cooler up there. First few rows sitting there taking in the game. Well, tonight they're watching this Andrew Kashner, a 6-foot 6-inch Texan. He's retired the first 9 hitters that he has faced and has 4 strikeouts. And now will face Roger Bernardina to begin the bottom of the 4th.
Well, there's my point, too, about, those stats. 8-8 record. When you look at that, you go like, oh, that guy here is not all that good of a pitcher. But, again, he is really as advertised. You throw the ball that hard, and you would think that maybe he wouldn't have a good breaking ball. He, so far tonight, has, and that's been a good pitch. A lot of movement on his fastball.
Well, in his last 6 games, he's gone 7 innings in 5 of those 6. And his team has scored on average just 2.5 runs for him. So that's why you see
Yeah.
I guess you could say a pedestrian 8-8 record.
Yeah.
He's working on 9 days rest. Padres have 6 pitchers in their rotation. And a called strike 3, a 92-mile-an-hour fastball that came back. It's a two-seamer. And that's 5 strikeouts for Cashman. And he's made it look easy so far.
Well, you don't see that very often when a strike is called. It's not anything other than a breaking ball. That's a two-seamer. Borderline for me, but again, close enough. But he was in no position as the ball coming in to be able to try and foul the ball.
Rollins just barely got that one in front of the plate. 2-3 on the putout.
It's a bad feeling. Bad feeling. Check swing. Right to the catcher. You wait that long to get in at bat, and then you go up and you check swing. Not a good feeling whatsoever.
Utley grounded out his first time up. It was a 4-1 ground out. A little low, 1-0. Cashner's made 8 starts since the All-Star break. His earned run average is 2.77 during that span.
Just floats that breaking ball right in there. Well, that will tell the tale, though, as far as a pitcher pitching. When you look at that ERA, when the pitcher has an ERA of 2 whatever, that shows you that he has been doing one heck of a job. Yeah, this guy's a hard thrower, but he mixes in a lot of other pitches. Change up, a little slurve or slider. He has thrown some hittable pitches, I would think.
That one's hit out towards center. That's pretty well hit. Going back is Amarista. It's over his head. There's the first hit of the night for the Phillies. And Utley will pull into second with a 2-out double, number 24 of the year. Well, that was certainly a hittable pitch.
Now that's what you like that third hitter to do. When things are tough, kind of take matters in your own hand as he drops the head of the bat. Check this out. Right there, right in the middle. You can't hit a ball any better. No chance at all, but center fielder just ricocheting, playing that awful nice. That hits off his hand. You can bet Utley will be at third base.
Darren Ruff struck out looking his first time up. Back toward the box. He swung at a slider inside his retired. So the Phillies get their first hit, but they leave a runner in scoring position. 4 in the books. It's 4-0 Padres as we head to the top of the 5th. On the go. Be the first to know the latest on all your Philly teams right from your smartphone. Download the free CSN Philly Sports app today. Top of the fifth inning. Top of the orders coming up for the Padres. It'll be Will Venable, Chris Denorfia, and Jed Jerko against Tyler Cloyd. Venable's 0 for 2. He's flied to center and he's grounded out to first. Outside, 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, Venable's had an interesting year. He's got his home runs, but still not a lot of RBIs, 51. Maybe not his fault because he's hitting with, it would seem like, not men on base, not at least a lot of men on base.
Yeah, he's not always the leadoff hitter. He's done that a couple dozen times. He's got a 372 on base percentage as the leadoff guy. But I think that might be what you were alluding to, Sarge, a result of the Padres' offense, or lack thereof.
Oh boy. Ball almost nailed Mike Adams, and see Murph in the background as he's smiling and well out of the way of that, I might add.
Just serves that one into left field, a base.
That's hitting. And that's, you pulled 2 balls, and Tyler made a good pitch down and away. That's a pitch that you can't pull, and that's after pulling 2 balls on the inside to serve that to left. Wow.
Tyler Cloyd going over who's going to cover second if there's a ball hit back to the box. Denorfia is 0 for 2. He has struck out. He's grounded out to second. That one's whacked through the hole on the left side. Back-to-back hits now for San Diego. That gives them 8 for the ball game.
Well, ball's not hit off really hard, but just in the right place. Ball's up a little bit. Just not like he's getting really beat up and line drives all over, but they are hits, however.
Now the Phillies are going to get bullpen action going right now. Zach Miner starts to throw in the pen. 69 pitches now for Cloyd with runners at first and second. That one's pulled foul. It's 0-1. Time to take a look at our Mazda leaders. Jed Jerko, we said we didn't see him when the Phillies were in San Diego and they took 2 of 3, but he is among the leaders in home runs among rookies. Evan Gattis just passed him over the last couple of days. A couple ahead of Yasiel Puig. Darren Ruff, not as many at bats, is climbing the ladder a little bit.
Sure is.
That's over for strike 0-2.
Interesting to see how they vote for the rookie of the year. Puig actually getting just a lot of endorsement from a lot of different people around the league.
Over toward third. That's a foul ball.
In the same instance, though, I mean, some of those antics that he's going through might cost him some votes. Not hustling all the time.
Well, statistically, Puig tops in average, 343.
Hard to ignore that.
Third in home runs, 15. And is 6th in RBIs with 34. But he's also first in multi-hit games, first in runs. There's a line drive just over the glove of Utley into right center field. Venable's around third. He's being waved home. Going to third base is Denorfia. The throw by Utley hits him, so he's safe. Going up to second is Jerko. It's an RBI single. And it's now a 5-0 San Diego lead.
Wow.
I don't know if Utley just didn't see that or if it was hit higher than I thought he was going to catch that ball.
It appeared as if he was like he thought he was catching it. He was going to fake to actually second. See, he gets up there, not sure of where that ball is that is hit. It's a line drive that's hit. He wasn't sure exactly where the ball was. It is a catchable ball if he's able to see it, and I guarantee you didn't see that ball well coming off the bat.
All right, so Cloyd's night is done here in the 5th inning. He allows 3 straight hits to start the 5th. So he'll exit, and Zach Miner will come in. This is an AT&T call to the bullpen here at Citizens Bank Park. It's 5-0. The Padres on top of the Phillies. And Zach Miner will take over for Tyler Cloyd. 12th ball game for Miner. He's 0-1 with an ERA of 3.86, 11 strikeouts and 16 1/3. And he's on to face Chase Headley, Kyle Blanks, and Alexi Amarista. Tyler Cloyd just didn't have his control tonight. 4+ innings, 9 hits. He didn't walk anybody. He struck out 4. And the 2 runners on base are still his responsibility, and there's nobody out.
Yeah, there's too many balls there up in the zone for Tyler here tonight. Well, all the balls weren't hit hard, but they were starting to square some balls up.
Denorfi is at third. Jerko's at second. Chase Headley's 1 for 2. And he lines one into center field, a base hit. 1 run scores. Rounding third and being held there is Jerko. It's 6-0 San Diego. The throw gets away momentarily from Franzen. So that's 4 straight hits now for the Padres. And this is not a pretty night for the Phillies.
Well, got to get out of that zone there with that first pitch strike, if you will. Oh, you want to throw a strike, but it's got to be a quality strike when you have runners there that are in scoring position.
There's certain nights when it's just out of your hands. I mean, that's the kind of night it has been for Ryan Sandberg and the coaching staff.
Well, you look for your pitcher the beginning of the game to give your team energy to, and the way that they're pitching, and just wasn't to be tonight.
Well, for Bud Black, his pitcher's certainly given his team some energy.
Well, being able to get them out, only one hit up to this particular point. Double off the wall, straightaway center. Chase Utley. But collectively as a group, you need guys to start to square the ball up. I mean, you got to give that pitcher that you face something to think about.
Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Blanks. Blanks singled his last time up and then scored. It was part of a 3-run 4th inning. That gets away from Rupp, and Headley's going to go to second. That'll be a wild pitch.
You almost got to concentrate even more, especially if you know he's throwing a breaking ball, to make sure you keep it out in front of you.
Get away with one there.
That ball should have been hit so far. You're talking September now, where all the players are able to recognize pitches. That was nothing more than a soft toss. Thought process, however, was good. Throwing the slider, you might want to try and get that ball down and away from a guy that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, even though he only has 8 to date.
Ground ball through the hole left side. Base hit. 1 more run scores. Headley goes to third. That's 5 straight hits now for San Diego, and it's 7-0. And that'll end the line for Tyler Cloyd. Still nobody out here in the top of the 5th. Well,
it's going to stop the bleeding some kind of way. Looking for, obviously, that ground ball double play. They'll take that at this particular point.
Change up outside, 0-1, or 1-0, excuse me. J.C. Ramirez and Mauricio Robles stretching their arms. Late on a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
That's what he needs. Some of that 94 in some pretty good spots. Almost appeared early on that Minor was just trying to throw strikes as opposed to letting it go. Maybe worried about walking a hitter. Just as bad, however, if you're just throwing pitches closer toward the middle.
Swing and a miss. He got him. I think he surprised him with a slider, and the crowd just realizes that it's the first out of the 5th. They had been kind of lulled to sleep by the way this inning was going.
Yep, pretty good pitch there as he gets the strikeout. At least the ball was down. A lot more success when that ball is down. Doesn't matter really how hard you throw. 94, 98, 99. You're not throwing quality strikes. The ball's gonna be hit. another one of these players in Cedeno that has not lived up to his potential with some of the other teams that he's been with, and particularly with the Chicago Cubs. That shortstop position was his to lose, and that's exactly what he did with it. He's given plenty of opportunity, but sometimes young players don't seize that opportunity.
Oh, he's now 30 years old, and Cedeno has found himself on a handful of teams, from the Cubs to the Mariners to the Pirates to the Mets to the Astros, and now the Padres. In fact, he began the year with Houston. He played 51 games with them, hit .220. But in 24 games with the Padres, he's hitting over .300.
Yeah, well, maybe he's found himself a home there in San Diego.
Back toward the middle, and that'll get into center field, a base hit. 8-0 San Diego. They've got a dozen hits, 6 alone in this inning.
Second RBI for Ronnie Cedeno as he hits the ball right up the middle.
Well, the number 8 batter is Rene Rivera. He's 1 for 2. He doubled home 2 runs his last time up. He struck out his first time. Breaking ball. That's over for a strike. Sarge, did you see what happened last night in the Yankee-Oriole game? I thought about you when I was watching it.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. Joe Girardi thought the third base coach for the Orioles was stealing signs. So he went up the dugout to the back end of it and said something to him, which then got Buck Showalter angry. And the two had to be kind of separated by the umpires. So Showalter felt like Girardi should leave his personnel alone, Showalter's personnel.
Yep.
And denied that there was any sign stealing going on. Got pretty heated.
I don't know. I can steal it from
Location more than sign
the
stealing.
third base side. I mean,
He was giving the hitter's location, apparently, depending on where he stood in the third base coach's box.
wow. Well, I mean, how did Girardi know that? I mean,
He said he saw something. He didn't elaborate. Girardi didn't elaborate, but Buck Showalter did.
well, were the players really hitting the ball, or were they on breaking balls?
Seemed to be a pretty comfortable game.
I don't know about that one. It'd be pretty difficult to give a guy a sign. You're in the third base coaching box. You're on the right-handed hitter. I'm not getting that. Maybe from the left side. And even so, giving location there with the slide as they go back and forth with each leg. This must be something that has been happening over some time, is maybe the reason why he's saying it.
Well, Rivera's down on strike, so there are 2 away here in the 5th. Well, LaShawn McCoy is in attendance tonight, fresh off his exciting first game last night. He had over 100 yards in the first half on 19 carries, finished with 31 carries and 184 yards.
What a game.
It was fast, at least for the first half. 53 plays in the first half. They were on pace to shatter the NFL record for plays in a game. They didn't do that, but they were on pace for that. There's a dribbler foul, and it's 0-1. Deshaun certainly showed last night that he and Deshaun Jackson were healthy and focused. Outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. 2-1.
You got to really kind of come right at the pitcher. You got to be able to have your confidence enough to be able to get him out without pitching around him. I know he does have the 1 home run. Wow.
It's been a long night already from a pitch count standpoint. Runners will be off on this next pitch with the count 3-2, 2 outs. Cameron Rupp reminding everybody behind the plate.
Just everything is up in the zone. Guys, you got to be able to pitch downhill, meaning somewhere near the knee area. And when you come up for a purpose, not just to throw a strike here where they can whack it.
High fastball swung on and missed. 3 strikeouts for Minor in the inning, but 4 runs score in the inning for the San Diego Padres. Middle of the 5th, the Padres leading the Phils 8-0. App for live baseball, available for your iPhone, iPad, mini iPad, Android, BlackBerry 10, and Windows Phone 8. At Bat delivers Phillies baseball with live audio, pitch tracking, stats, highlights, and more. Text At Bat to 31826 or visit Phillies.com for details. Last of the 5th inning, Phillies down 8-0, and they'll send Kevin Franzen, Cody Ashe, and Freddie Galvis to the plate against right-hander Andrew Kashner, who's allowed only 1 hit. It was a double to Chase Utley. That was in the 4th. He's 1 batter over the minimum, and now all he has to do is really front run. And I'll tell you what, it's not like he's a soft tossing front runner. He's still throwing in the upper 90s.
Yeah, I've been impressed with the spots he's been able to hit in that off-speed pitch. Usually you'll find guys that just throw the ball very hard, that's all they're able to do, and every now and then be able to throw that off-speed pitch over, but he's been getting it over pretty much all night.
Well, the pitcher spot is not due up for a while, but Ethan Martin's starting to throw in the pen for the Phils. Ryan Sandberg has said that he would like to see him in a game at some point. Said he was ready to put him in the other day. So it looks like the experiment of Martin coming out of the bullpen is going to start tonight. 1 ball and 1 strike to Franzen. He flied to right his first time up.
Well, just with the way that he pitched when he was starting, and usually pretty good for a couple of innings, you tend to think that he would be able to do the job out of the bullpen. That's what becomes difficult in starting that 2nd, 3rd time around when you're seeing batters.
Check swing. Did he go? No. So it's 2-2. Hear the dogs barking in the background. Outside, 3-2. So much to see. Popped him up over toward the Phillies dugout. Rivera, the catcher, is there. Basket catch, one away.
Wow.
And that'll bring Cody Ashley to the plate. At every blink, at every turn, there's something different to see. I don't know about you, Sarge, but if I brought my dogs to a ballpark, I'd have to hold the leash the entire time because, in all honesty, they'd be off and running with the first sight of another dog or some kind of varmint. Cody Ashley takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Well, all those dogs that I see up there, I mean, are pretty well mannered, it would seem.
Well, they have to go through a manners program before they come to a ball game.
I saw them sitting out there. I saw them, you know, kind of looking through the fence, looking here at the game.
1-2. I had a dog when I was a kid who used to sit in front of the TV when there was a ball game on. We watched a lot of baseball in my house.
Yeah.
Used to go after the TV every time a pitch was thrown.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a new one for me.
Yeah, I don't know what she was seeing or what she thought she was seeing, but she was going after the ball every single time.
Never seen.
No kidding. Oh yeah.
I mean, I've seen dogs chase cars trying to bite the tire, things like that, but never.
I thought they only did that in cartoons.
Looking at, oh no, they do that in real life.
Huh. In the air to right field. That's well hit. That's going to startle some dogs. It is gone. Solo home run for Cody Ashley. It's his 5th of the year. The Phillies are on the board.
Wow. Okay, this kid is making a strong statement that he wants to stay here in the major leagues. He's got about as quick as bat as anybody there on the team. I know he's been compared to Chase Utley. Take a look at it, and that's what I mean about the quickness. He catches that ball right out on the end. Look at his eyes, right down on the barrel. Makes great contact out of here.
Well, that makes a winner out of Marion Merkel of Lansdale. She just won $100 thanks to Cody Ashley in the McDonald's home run jackpot. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, where he's hitting the ball there, that shows you that he does have enough power. Hit that ball out to right center. He's just not pulling the balls. He's hitting it with some authority. He's got a pretty good game plan when it goes up to the plate, it would seem like. And he is short and quick to the ball.
Galvis a swing and a miss. He's saying he fouled it, and home plate umpire is saying no. Freddie probably should have run from the get-go.
Yeah.
But he would have been safe. Instead, he's out on a strikeout. He felt like he heard something. It's not like Freddie Galvis not to hustle. 6 strikeouts for Cashner.
Well,
It sounded like he.
sound like something was fouled out. Take a look at it again.
I couldn't tell if he made contact there or not. In that shot, it didn't look like he did, but it certainly sounded like something hit the ball or made a sound before the ball hit the glove. Cameron Rupp struck out his only time up.
But nevertheless, though, in that situation, you'd rather be called back to hit than to be called out if you could make it. I thought he could have made it if he runs right away. You have to know yourself for sure that it is a foul, but more importantly, that the umpire is giving you the foul call. talked with him earlier today. He is really anxious about playing here tonight. Always excited with that first ball game that you play in.
Well, he's done a nice job getting ready for this opportunity. Catching some bullpens, involved in the pregame stuff that's going on. He's down on strikes for the second time. 7 strikeouts for Cashner, and the side is retired. A home run by Cody Ashe puts the Phils on the board here in the bottom of the 5th, and we'll head to the top of the 6th. Plate we have become accustomed to in the Phillies catcher over the years. Carlos Ruiz got off to a very slow start with the bat this season following his suspension. The man behind the plate has since turned things around at the plate, batting well above 300 since the beginning of August. His offense has returned, and he is delivering with power and extra base hits. Juch's production is a welcome addition to the Phils lineup. And it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, the Philly fanatic tries to blend in with every man, woman, and I guess animal. Not tonight, though. Those dogs have no idea what the heck is going on.
Oh, he's not sure, and then backs up a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
That is great. The fanatic kept on going. The fanatic was looking for some kind of reaction. He got it. Well, Ethan Martin making his first appearance out of the bullpen in a Phils uniform. As a starter, 2-4, a 6.90 ERA. 34 strikeouts in 30 innings this year. And he'll face the top of the order.
Yeah, the only thing that really hurt him were those walks. He was getting the ball up in the zone. When he keeps it down there, almost unhittable. But this is the type of guy that can give you those 2 innings that you need, providing that he can throw strikes. I think we've seen him before. He's strong. The fighting Phils are going to need somebody in the bullpen to do just that.
But there is a little enticement about his ability, where you think, oh man, if I can harness it, I can make this kid a starter.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, obviously that would be something that would be just great if he was able to do that. But if it shows that he can't, shoring up some other hole, which they're going to have to do, would also be good.
Here's the 0-2 pitch to Venable. Out of play, off to the third base side.
Martin's talked about it before, that he would rather be a starter.
Sure. I think most guys his age would prefer to be a starter.
Yeah. But the fact is, he'd much rather be in the major leagues in that role than to be down on the farm and starting. Good pitch.
One out here in the top of the 6th. 8 strikeouts for Phillies pitching.
Watch the movement on this pitch. just breaks away. I don't know if that ball there just slid away from him where it didn't get the break that he wanted, as if the pitch backed up. Pitchers will do that from time to time, and that is not done on purpose.
He went 0-1. Ground ball right back to the mound. 2 outs. Reminder from Budweiser, great times are waiting. Designated driver. There's Jerko. He's 3 for 3. He went, and it's 0-1. I was thinking along with Mark Wagner there. Just decided that he was going to think that he went on that
pretty
pitch.
good call right there, even before he called it. Yeah. That's why that slider becomes such a difficult pitch for right-handers to hit. They think it's a fastball, and they know to hit the pitch, you got to get that bat head started.
Popped him up. Rupp off with the mask. Back toward the screen. And an easy inning for Ethan Martin. Well, it's a 1-2-3 debut out of the bullpen. There's nothing to this, Sarge.
Oh,
Padres go down in order for the second time, make it the third time tonight. Go wrong when you buy right. Buy McDonald's. I'm loving it. And buy Toyota. Toyota's nationwide clearance event is going on now. Toyota. Let's go places. Bottom of the 6th inning. Pete Orr is going to lead it off. So Ethan Martin through 1 inning.
Yeah.
Through all strikes.
Look good.
Retired the Padres in order. 1, 2, 3. So his feet are wet now, Sarge.
Yeah. Well, coming in and throwing strikes and feeling good about himself. That's what Sandberg's trying to get him to do, as Rich Doobie comes by and gives him a pat. He's probably thinking and saying, hey, I could still do this as a starter.
Popped him up third base side. Headley on the run and makes the catch. He bumps into the railing. I wasn't sure if he was going to get there or not. It didn't look like he was moving all that well.
Well, and that's the key. The quicker you get there, the easier the play is for you as he comes over. Just going to backhand it. You see how he kind of puts his hand out just a little bit. Had plenty of room, however. First few steps got him over there where he could get a bead on him, and Orr going, oh no. Well, you start twisting a little bit yourself, your body, hoping you could get it into the stands.
There's Bernardina. He's hitless in 2 at-bats, so ground out and a strikeout. And a line drive right at the first baseman blanks.
Well, nothing he can do about that.
Nope, 2 outs. Jimmy Rollins is coming up. Well, we mentioned before the Phillies and the Padres will play 2 more games tomorrow and Thursday, but they've adjusted the rotation for tomorrow and Thursday, Murph.
They have indeed, Tom. Cliff Lee will start tomorrow. Originally, it was supposed to be Roy Halladay, but Cliff Lee's going to get the start tomorrow, which is on regular rest because of the day off that the team had. Roy Halladay will instead start on Thursday. Over the weekend, he was a little bit under the weather, and Ryan Sandberg talked about it today, said lost a little bit of weight, lost a little bit of strength, and they're building that back up. So they just wanted to give Roy an extra day or 2 to kind of build back up to get that strength back. Apparently, he had flu-like symptoms and was really under the weather, wasn't even at the ballpark earlier in the week. So he'll pitch on Thursday. They expect he'll be fine at that point. But Cliff Lee will just take the ball tomorrow. And you know Cliff, they told him, and he said, all right, no problem. I'll take the ball. I got it.
I was sitting there when Rich Stubbe told him the other day, and it was, hey, listen, you might have to pitch on Wednesday instead of on Thursday. It's your normal day. And he went, okay. Basically, that's all he said.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. That's big dealings, big stuff.
Here's the 1-2 pitch to Rollins in the dirt, 2-2.
Well, you probably wouldn't expect anything other than that with Cliff Lee. He probably wouldn't care if he pitched every other day, to be quite frank.
Ground ball towards second to his left jerko. And that'll do it for the Phillies here in the 6th inning. So the Phillies have 2 hits today, a double by Utley, a home run by Ashe. That's it. We've played 6. We go to the 7th. It's a 7-run Padres lead.
What is that green thing? Those dogs.
With the Elvis wig, although they were probably thinking Elvis wig.
No, they were just thinking, what is it? And if they watch your local Honda dealer's game somewhere, the dogs are having a great time tonight. Phillies fans, this is really their starting pitching has been pretty good lately. And that's one of the reasons why they've looked a lot better, because they had really good starting pitching, stayed in games, got into the back end of the bullpen tonight. Not so hot. Tyler Cloyd struggled. And Cashner's been terrific, and the Phillies are on their 4th pitcher of the game, Luis Garcia, as we head to the 7th.
Yeah, after Ethan Martin pitched a scoreless 6th inning, he retired the Padres in order. Now Garcia, his 19th game in the big leagues.
That's all they want out of him, too, is an inning. That's what they look at him at in the future, as a guy that would be a situation right-hander, pitch an inning. He's not a guy that you would look at for 2 or 3 innings as a long man or something like that, because his stuff's too electric to waste him that way.
Well, it was electric in that 1 inning.
Well, it can be, and that's why I use a guy like that, or they think you would use a guy like that for an inning or for a hitter or two.
Broke his bat. That's going to bloop into right. So Headley has 3 hits tonight. That is 13 hits for a Padres team, which is 23-23 since the All-Star break, and 5-2 since the start of September.
24-44 on the road, but a little bit hot lately, sweeping the Rockies right before they came east.
Yeah, when you look at the standings in the National League West since the All-Star break, it's a runaway for the Dodgers. They're 37-12. They play later on tonight against Arizona. But the Padres are second. They're a 500 team since the All-Star break. Arizona 4 games under, Colorado 9 games under, and San Francisco 6 games under, all since the All-Star break.
The Phillies know what that's like to be under 500 since the All-Star break. Ain't commiserate with those teams. Phillies, for all those years when they had that good run, were a tremendous post-All-Star break team. This year, not good.
1 ball, 1 strike to Blanks. And it's 1-2. On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, the Nationals lead the Mets 4-1. Jason Worth is having himself a night at Citi Field. Phillies will be in D.C. this weekend for a 3-game series. Nationals are still mathematically alive for the wild card, but they're going to need a whole lot of work. Freddie Galvis makes the catch.
They're going to need some other teams that do a whole lot of losing too. But you never know.
Here's Amarista, who's 0 for 3. Ground ball, softly hit. They'll get 1 out of this one. And it's the lead runner. Good play by Utley. These lucky fans are tonight's Citizens 7. They were to receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Citizens Bank with the most 7-day branches in the Philadelphia area. To find a branch near you, visit citizensbank.com. Ronnie Cedeno has 2 RBIs tonight. The number 8 batter has 2 RBIs tonight. That's Rene Rivera, who's on deck.
This guy's done a pretty good job for them. They lost Everett Cabrera to that season-long suspension. And Ronnie Cedeno has been all over the place. He's always been kind of a good extra man. And it's filled in nicely for them.
Actually got a nice bounce and a quick flip. Back-to-back scoreless innings for the Padres. They leave 1. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia. The Phillies trail at 8-1. All right, Wheels, here we go. Who was the first player selected by the Padres in the 68 expansion draft?
Let me just throw this out.
I don't even know if the gentleman holding the baby was alive at that point to know that.
That's really nice to know. Thanks. Yeah. I was just. I know.
No, I wasn't at that point.
No, you weren't. I'm aware of that also. Is there a guy here tonight with the same name?
Yes.
Dave Roberts.
No.
Darn. Because they had Dave Roberts was a guy. Oh. There is a guy here tonight with the same name.
Same last name.
Who was their first pick.
Yeah. Chase Utley will lead it off against Cashner.
All right, who was it?
Downtown Ollie Brown.
Ollie Brown was her number one. Huh? Didn't remember. I guess he came from the Giants.
From the Giants. That's it.
Dave Roberts was I have to go figure it out now. He was either a big draft pick or a big trade for them as a young player. He was going to be their franchise at third baseman. It really didn't work out. Around the early 70s when he got to the big leagues, I think. Oh, well. Ollie Brown.
Two balls, one strike.
Oh, he's a good guy, too. He could really throw from right field. One of the best right field arms you ever saw.
Well, they went. Or I should say they called that a strike. So it's 2-2.
Dave Roberts was from Texas? I don't know. You'll find it. The cloud.
Here we go. Dave Roberts, San Diego first round in 72.
Okay. Well, he was a first round pick. That's what it was. All right.
Utley pulls it towards second. Diving stop by Jerko from his backside. Gets it over there just in time.
Nice play. Chase Utley had to appreciate that. Didn't really appreciate it, but I know how tough that play was.
Dave Roberts hit 49 home runs in his big league career.
Here's a play right here. Man, Jerko doesn't panic at all. Just throws from the seat of his pants and gets it over there. So he was a number one pick, their pick in 72.
Yeah, but from God's country, not from
Washington
or Oregon.
Oh, Oregon.
Yeah. I always get it confused which one's God's country.
Well, Larry feels both are, but more Washington, I think.
Slider, and it's 0-2.
Well, this guy's pitched well here tonight. The scouting reports on him are right on. Really commanding his fastball well. Both sides of the plate, using a real good slider, too. I think Ashley hit a slider, it looked like. Kind of out over the plate a little bit. He really crushed that, but he hasn't made many mistakes. You can tell he's a pitcher now and not just a bullpen guy that comes in and tries to throw as hard as he can.
Two balls and two strikes.
A few times tonight you've seen him get out of his arm slot a little bit. Kind of pulled that ball across his body. He's been real smooth and locked in.
It's the second time he's gotten Darren Ruff to hit one back to the box. There are two outs. Well, the splits for Cashner between relieving and starting. ERA 3.42 as a starting pitcher.
Look at that. He had almost a strikeout per inning pitch as a relief pitcher, but not as much now. More of a pitcher, maybe getting him out a little quicker.
Well, down to the minor leagues, he made 48 starts, but he only won 12 games. There was one year where he started 24 games in the minor leagues, and he was 2-2.
Well, when you look at this year, Tom, 0-3 in his last 5 starts with a 2.18 earned run average. He scored 4 runs while he's in the game. Tonight, they doubled that real quick for him.
0-1 pitch. Low, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Take my chances with this guy with a lead anytime. Works fast, too. Pretty impressive. His 90th pitch was 98 miles per hour.
Well, that's why they're pretty optimistic that they have a few good starters for 2014, led by Ian Kennedy, the veteran. Cashner, who missed the start of this year because of a hunting accident where one of his buddies stabbed him as they were cleaning a carcass.
It's not funny, but it's funny.
Well, now it is because he's okay and he's healthy.
As long as he's okay.
He's cruising tonight against the Phillies. He's retired 8 in a row since the home run by Ashe. Phillies and the Padres have completed their first 7 innings tonight. Triple play provider of your Phillies by Thomas Jefferson University Hospitals. Call 1-800-JEFF-NOW for an appointment. By Chevrolet. Visit your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. And by Pennsylvania Lottery. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Well, tonight's reunion night for the kids from the Phillies Baseball Academy. The academies took place all year long. And there's some of the youngsters who got a chance to sing and dance with the Fanatic on the dugout. Phillies have shifted around their entire outfield and their infield for the most part. Bernardino is now in right field. Martinez is now in center. And Darren Ruff is now in left field. So Ruff goes from right to left. Bernardino from center to right. And Cesar Hernandez, who's in the ball game, bobbles the grounder and then is able to gather himself and throws out Rivera. One away. Hernandez is at second. Freddie Galvis is now at shortstop for Jimmy Rollins. And with Cashner coming up, let's check in with Murph with the Major League Notebook. Murph?
All right, thanks, Tom. Brought to you by Gwinnett Mercy College. And the Tigers announced today that Johnny Peralta will begin working out with their club. That's the first step towards deciding if he will be part of their postseason plans. The shortstop was, of course, suspended for 50 games, being connected with the biogenesis stuff. And the Tigers said they haven't decided yet whether or not they'll bring him back, but he is eligible to come back on September 26th. And Major League Baseball announced all their schedules for next year, the 2014 season, including the Philly schedules out there. One interesting note, the first games of the year will be played in Sydney, Australia, between the Arizona Diamondbacks and the Los Angeles Dodgers. They'll be played on March 22nd and 23rd, so they're heading down under to get the season started for the very first time. Major League Baseball is in Australia. Take a look at the Phillies schedule, and we'll open the season up in Texas on the road. and then head to Chicago as well before coming back a week later and getting things started here against the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah, the Phillies will be in Anaheim for the first time in a while. They'll play a home-and-home with the Angels. That's the only ballpark I haven't seen. Wheels, I know you've been there, right?
Yeah, it's beautiful. You'll love it.
Murph, you've never been to Anaheim, have you?
Never been there, or Oakland. We'll see them both next season.
A lot of freeways around it. And Disneyland's right across the street.
Yeah, don't take the Bay Bridge if you're going from San Francisco to Oakland, though. That apparently is under construction.
It's a great system to take you over there, BART.
Yeah. If you don't take the BART, don't take a cab. Take a helicopter of some sort.
Take BART.
Will Venable hits it to shortstop. And this is going to be an easy inning for Luis Garcia. So 1-2-3. Go the Padres. 3 ground balls for Garcia. 7.5 done here at Citizens Bank Park. We come back for the bottom of the 8th. Cody Ashe will lead things off. Oh, the International League and the Pacific Coast League will get together for the AAA Championship at Coca-Cola Park in Allentown, Pennsylvania. That's the home of the Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. Tickets start as low as $11. You can order those tickets by going to ironpigsbaseball.com. You get the ultimate tailgate party, which begins at 2 p.m., featuring an appearance by the world-famous Budweiser Clydesdales. Food and drink specials, free parking for fans arriving prior to 4 p.m. Pretty nice honor for Phil's AAA affiliate to be the host of the AAA Championship.
That's a great ballpark. They'll get a good attendance, but they have a chance for it.
Cody Ashe homered his last time up. 2 balls and no strikes. Cashner goes to work and delivers low. 3-0.
I don't know about Ashe's power. They think there's something there. They can get even stronger during the offseason. But he really jumps on this, and he hits it out to right center field, too. Out over the plate. May have been a slider that just kind of hung there. Bam. Deep left center field.
Well, for that home run for each one hit by Phil's player this year, 1 tree will be planted by the Pennsylvania Horticultural Society as part of Home Runs for Trees. A partnership between PHS, the Phillies, and Aramark. Home Runs for Trees is part of Plant 1 Million, a project to restore the region's tree coverage. For more information, visit phillies.com/red goes green.
Make that right center field.
First walk issued by Cashner as Dale Thayer is throwing in the pen.
Yeah, they're probably going to get to a point where they say that's enough. Thought maybe it'd be after 7, but letting him start the 8th inning here. They're looking for innings from him next year. With mentioned Kennedy, they have another kid we're going to see named Tyler Ross, who's done a big time job for them too. A kid out of Berkeley, UCal Berkeley.
The others are Robbie Erlin and Birch Smith. And of course, they have Eric Stoltz, a left-hander, who's done a nice job for them.
And they're putting a young pitching staff together, and they made the trade for Ian Kennedy to kind of anchor it for them.
Wally Joyner, fleet-footed over there in the first base coach's box.
Spent some time in the Padres organization, saying hi to a lot of people down there tonight. Long conversation with Bud Black. When you watch Freddie Galvis hit, when his swing gets long, he's very, very vulnerable to off-speed stuff down. And you see him chasing a lot of bad pitches, breaking balls especially. He can handle a fastball about belt high from the left side, but breaking balls down.
This could be two. There's one, and there's two. Ashley was way away from the second base bag when he was trying to take Ronnie Cedeno out. So they may have called a double play anyway. 4-6-3 double play. Cameron Rupp is due up. He's 0 for 2 tonight. He has 2 strikeouts. Murphy's looking forward to this opportunity tonight, wasn't he?
Well, no doubt about it. And still looking for that first major league hit is Cameron Rupp. But I had a chance to talk with him a few days ago in preparation and anticipation of getting that first start. He didn't know when it was going to come, but he anticipated that it was going to come shortly. He gets the opportunity tonight. And he said, he had butterflies in his stomach, no doubt about it. But he said, it's the game I've been playing my entire life, and I just got to go out there and treat it like that and hope that things work out the way that he has envisioned it. So hasn't gotten that base hit yet, but you talked about him getting a chance to work with the pitchers in the bullpen and just getting comfortable in this Phillies uniform in Citizens Bank Park. And Sandberg talked a little bit about today, wanted to match him up with Tyler Cloyd because they were familiar with one another. So it was another way to try and make him feel comfortable in his major league debut.
He dribbles that one up the third base line. It's barehanded by Headley. His throw to first, not in time, and his first major league hit is a little different than he probably expected.
And he expected to get a bleeder and then take a header at the same time.
He'll take it, though.
Sure, that's a line drive in the box score when all his friends see it tomorrow.
Sure. Great
Smoke
reaction
that baby.
from his family. There's his dad standing up. How about this reaction from this crowd? That's awesome.
Here it is, another slider. Been buried him tonight with sliders, so he dribbles one, and then he's hustling down the line, hits the bag, and watch Dad get a big laugh out of that. Yeah, he's safe. I've seen him hit a lot harder than that.
Well, you'll probably see him hit a lot harder than that in the future.
That's funny.
Well, John Mayberry will pitch hit for the Phils.
He's probably just happy to make contact on one of those slide balls he's been seeing all night.
That is true. He moved pretty good up the first base line.
For a catcher.
Ball's hit hard. Base hit for Mayberry. There's not a lot of pressure right now on Cashner. So you may see Bud Black make a move soon. Hey, here he comes. Pops out of the dugout. That might be it for him at 107 pitches. He just put his index finger out to Bud Black. He just said one more, one more.
Yeah, you could tell he doesn't want to leave the game, and they got to love that about him. And one more, I'll get through 8.
Let me have one more.
Looks better in 7 2/3 instead of 1/8.
Yeah, so his night is done. We'll go to the bullpen for the Padres. The Phillies down 8-1 with 2 runners on. And the effort by the Birds that has Philly buzzing. Plus, Flyers, Penn State, and Templeton's. Chevy Malibu Sports Night tonight after post-game live only on Comcast Sports Night. Kasher congratulated by his teammates. Pretty calm right there. Boom, boom. But then, not pleased that he was A, lifted, B, he couldn't finish the 8th inning, and he just went off and had a timeout. Roger Bernardino takes inside and low.
He wanted to get one more out when he pitched those 8 innings.
You can't blame him.
No, and with the stuff he had tonight, and see why he would have. Well, he gave up that little bleeder. He thought, that would be the third out of the inning.
At some point, he'll probably calm down and realize that this is pretty good for him tonight. But he's a young, strong pitcher.
Oof. A lot of potential.
He's probably thinking, hey, man, I'm at 107 pitches. Give me one more batter.
Right.
But it's a different age as far as baseball goes.
Yeah, and they're thinking ahead to next year. Philly's been doing that with some of their guys, saving some innings at this point. He also knows those are his runs out there. Guys think like that. You get in a situation like that, you think if they score, I want to be out there when they score.
Go. Bernardino fouls it back. It remains 3-2. Softly hit. Blanks is there. Ooh, that toss is not going to be in time at all. Bases are loaded.
See, that's the kind of stuff I think sometimes you can be ticked off about. That makes it look like it's about you. And that's what teammates will pick up on. There's one thing about being competitive, then there's that. Here it is. Tom saw this right away. Blanks has a long way to go, and he underhands it. Probably would have had to overhand that and put a little on it to have any chance to get a guy who runs as well as Bernardino. He flips that bar of soap over there. Bernardino runs it out really well. See, that's not good.
Several people talk about 1993 in the postseason when Schill put the towel over his head when Mitch was out on the mound.
Right. Didn't like that. Teammates didn't like that.
So bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's Hernandez up for the first time. And he takes low, 1-0. Oh, now the Padres get somebody else up in the bullpen. The Phillies also get DeFreitas up in their end of the bullpen.
Yeah, and Kasher can also say, well, I wanted to finish this. I could have gotten this done better than the other guy. Well, you can't think that way. You got to root for your teammate in that spot. And he goes out and gets the job done because the manager made the decision. It's out of your hands.
Gregerson's the right-hander who's starting to throw in the pen for the Padres. Pitch. Ball 3. Ball 4. That forces in a run. It's now an 8-2 ball game. Hammer, and Rupp scores his first major league run.
That run is charged to the starter.
In fact, the runner at third is his responsibility. The other two are not. Michael Martinez up for the first time. And a breaking ball that misses. 1-0. Somehow he manages to go yard here.
Oh boy.
You can see a very interesting snap in the dugout. 2-0.
Well, Bud Black, you have to live with your decision. You figure you're doing the right thing. You're trying to protect the young pitcher. You have a big lead, and you need one more out. And then you sit there and you see this stuff happening, and you go, what's going on here? Throw it over. Still have a 6-run lead.
Mayberry at third, Bernardina at second, Hernandez at first. Excellent speed on the base paths for the Phillies.
Boy, they shallow left and center.
They really are.
Center field's ridiculous.
Martinez was taken all the way because there were 6 in a row out of the strike zone. It's 2-1.
I wonder why Amarista would be that shallow in center field with a 6-run lead. The ball goes over his head. Not that Michael Martinez, the guy that drives a whole lot, but still.
He's swinging like that, though.
Now they're going to really move over because they're thinking, he's kind of late. And there's 2 strikes.
Wow,
he's really. It looks like the 9th inning, the winning runs on third with less than 2 outs.
Inside, 3-2. The runners will be off.
You can hit a hard base hit up the middle and get a triple out.
Easy
way they're positioned.
There go the runners. And a foul tip hung on to by Rivera. Side is retired. So after all that, just 1 run crosses the plate for the Phils in the bottom of the 8th. We go to the top of the 9th. The Padres' lead is at 6. Reading program. It's brought to you by Comcast. The program encourages students to read for 15 minutes a day to improve literacy skills. The program provides free fun incentives, including posters and bookmarks, and the chance to receive a literacy visit from the Fanatic. To be a fanatic about reading program. For more information, email fandev@phillies.com. Padres get another right-hander up in their bullpen while the Phillies bring in a left-hander to pitch the top of the 9th inning. Joe Sabry's 2-0 this year in the big leagues. This is his 12th game. Northie is 1 for 4 in this game. Freddie Galvis Just throws him out. Franzen hangs on to the bag. One away. Time now for a Hyundai defensive play of the game, Wheels.
One second baseman on another second baseman right here. Looks like Chase Utley has a base hit in the hole, but no. Jed Jerko makes a terrific play from the seat of his pants. A little foot to first base and robs second baseman Chase Utley of a hit by a fine play by the second baseman. That's our Hyundai defensive play of the game, brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers.
Here is Jerko with one out. Takes low. 1 ball, no strikes. Padres are swinging at some first pitches in these last couple of innings.
Good big league baseball players from West Virginia. You think about Johnny Kruk, who was a San Diego Padre. Now this guy.
Out of the University of West Virginia, Jed Jerko.
He's a Mountaineer. Think about the greatest athlete from West Virginia. I don't know, but you have to go Jerry West, maybe. Huh?
Jerry West is a good guess. I would think so.
Nicknamed,
he's up there.
Nicknamed Zeke from Cabin Creek.
Hear the dogs barking in the background.
I heard that. Been listening to that. Oh, that's the greatest. You were saying earlier you think you'd hear some dogs barking.
Yeah.
They were barking at the Fanatic.
Now that was
funny. And what else would you play on a night like this but Hound Dog?
Yeah, they didn't understand that.
They didn't get that. They just saw that thing coming at them, the tongue coming out.
Foul tip, and there are 2 outs. And that'll bring Chase Headley to the plate. Every time the Phillies retire the opposition 1-2-3, Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, your home for the most live sports, giving you all your favorite sports all year long.
That's great.
Some kind of a golden doodle, or maybe it's just a poodle. It's a big poodle.
That was funny.
Ground ball foul. Its own one. All right, Wheels. Here are the according to Sports Illustrated.
I'm going to go with one more before you read it. How about Sam Huff? He's got to be in there too.
He is. That's a fierce look right there.
That looks like Sam Huff.
Yeah,
he was like that.
Let's see. Hal Greer.
Oh yeah.
Hack Wilson. Randy Moss.
Good, well, great wide receiver. Yeah. I'm going with football player that I'd love to watch Sam Huff play.
Let's see who else would jump out. John Kruk, according to the list I'm looking at, is 22nd all time.
Is Jerry West number 1?
He's number 1.
Yeah,
number 1. Let's see if we can get a good one. You know who's number 2?
Go ahead.
Mary Lou Retton.
Oh yeah. Gymnast.
Number 2.
Chuck Bednarik said to Sam Huff in the second half of that great game in 1960 when he went in to play center, played both ways that day. He said, "Sam, the party's over." And it was.
A ball and 2 strikes to Headley. He lays off 2-2. Sports Illustrated has a list of the top 50 athletes from West Virginia.
That's pretty cool. I never knew there were such lists. I was just thinking of Jerry West when you think of athletes from West Virginia. It is 8-2 in the ninth.
Your guy, Kurt Warner.
Yep. Kurt Warner was from West Virginia. What a great running back he was. Oh.
From Pineville.
His son is at Penn State now.
What's he playing?
He's a wide receiver.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Chase Headley. And another foul ball. That's all I have on the great athletes from West Virginia.
Forget Kurt Warner.
On the Toyota Major League scoreboard, Wheels, did you call the Pittsburgh Pirates today to congratulate them on their 82nd victory yesterday? What a victory it was. Garrett Cole outdueled Yu Darvish.
1-0, yeah.
Well, they lead the Rangers 4-0 tonight.
And they need to win some. They were in a little bit of a tailspin there, the Pirates, and a tough place to win games, and especially against that lineup.
Now the 2-2 pitch. And he got him. A foul tip. Rupp hangs on. 1-2-3 go the Padres here in the ninth. Whether it means anything or not, the Phillies bullpen 4 straight scoreless innings since Ethan Martin came on. We'll go to the bottom of the ninth. Is upon us. See what the Padres have done tonight. 3 runs in the 4th, 4 in the 5th, after taking a 1-0 lead in the 1st. Brad Brock is the new pitcher out of Monmouth University. It's down by my neck of the woods in New Jersey. Brock 1-0 with a 3.81 ERA. All-time leading winner at Monmouth. All-time leader in strikeouts, 277. 3rd year in the big leagues, 2nd full year in the big leagues. And he'll come on to face Darren Ruff, Kevin Franzen, and Cody Ashley for the Phillies.
Saw him in a game in San Diego early this year. He pitched 2/3 of an inning, scoreless, 1 walk. And another inning where he had 2 strikeouts. Here are W.B. Mason deliveries of the game. Here's Ronnie Cedeno with a double down the left field line. This got it all going here. A 2-0 game at that point. And then Rene Rivera goes into the gap in right center field. So they started to put some doubles on the board in that inning. And that one made it 4-0. And it's 8-2 as we go to the bottom of the 9th inning.
Well, the Phillies have had some comfort behind wins at home in recent weeks. This one would be a doozy, though. They're down 8-2. They're in the bottom of the 9th. Darren Ruff will lead it off. He's 0 for 3. Andrew Kashner went 7 2/3, allowed 4 hits and 2 runs. Dale Thayer struggled through his 3rd of an inning. And now it's Brock. Throws across his body. Ball's hit toward left center. That'll drop for a hit.
Well, that was a breaking ball there, but not quite the same breaking ball he'd been seeing earlier from Kashner, who was really good here tonight.
So looking to play behind Ruff at first with a 6-run lead.
Yeah, you're pretty much going 1 base at a time right now. Certainly don't want to take any chances.
Just foul. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Franzen. Franzen 5 for 21 on the homestand. He's got a chance to play an awful lot over at first base ever since the trade of Michael Young. Ryan Sedberg talked about Ryan Howard again today, and he said that when games begin, instructional league, that's where Ryan Howard will be. Ben Revere, who did a lot more today on the field in preparation for his departure for Clearwater, will also play in games.
Well, that'd be one way to get him some at bats at the end of the year and get him into some games, move them around a little bit on defense.
Find the seats down the right field line. Blanks and Venable both chased it down. Down by 6, bottom of the 9th inning. This is a heck of an at bat right now by Franzen. He's fighting.
Yeah, he's doing everything he can to get on base. You can see a ball 4 here, he's going to do it.
Out toward right center field. That's pretty well hit. Amarista's on the run, and he can't get it. It's a 1-hop off the scoreboard. Ruff will stop at third. It'll be a double for Franzen. A second and third with nobody out.
That does play shallow. Of course, he's over there in right center field on Franzen's offside. He really doesn't expect him to drive it that far. Just last inning with Martinez up there seemed a little strange what they were doing.
Well, Bud Black is coming out, and I think he's going to go to the bullpen.
Tom said a great at bat by Franzen, and Kevin when he starts doing a breaststroke out of the batter's box, but other than that, he'll make second base easily on that 1-hopper off the wall.
So Bud Black has seen enough of Brock. He'll go back to the bullpen. I believe it was Gregerson who was warming up. So I think that right-hander will now come in for another right-hander. We'll be back with a pitching change right after this. September 16th when the Phillies take on the Miami Marlins. Tickets are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week by going to Phillies.com. Here's Luke Gregerson, who's going to come on for the Padres. Up by 6, 64th game for Gregerson. A lot of folks thought that maybe at the All-Star break that he might be dealt. But he's still in a Padres uniform. And he will face Cody Ashe. Little bongo camp tonight. Man does love his dog.
Why not? They sure love you back.
Unconditionally.
Yep. This guy's a good pitcher, Luke Gregerson. A lot of teams, as you say, would like that. Maybe you thought he may move at the trading deadline, but no, they're serious about this game when they bring him in here. They still have a 6-run lead, but he's a primary setup guy, really, for Houston Street. So they're trying to get some outs and get out of here.
Yeah, Houston Street has been one of the best closers in baseball the last month and a half, 2 months. Ashe, with 2 runners in scoring position, will dig in. He's 1 for 2 with a walk.
Gregerson's not a hard thrower, but he's a strike thrower. Throws sinkers, trying to get ground balls.
Whoa. Catcher really framed that ball.
Cody probably thought that was a little high.
Now the 0-2 pitch to Ashe. Swing and a miss. He got him with a slider.
That's the other pitch that he's got a good breaking ball there. Said he's not going to overpower anybody, but he'll throw strikes, he'll get ahead, and a lot of times he'll make him put the ball in play. Got ahead of him, then he throws that little back foot breaking ball right there, and it's a good one.
Freddie Galvis up for the fourth time, excuse me. 0 for 3, couple strikeouts. Second time as the shortstop.
And Freddie's the kind of guy you would think Gregerson would use that slider on. He starts him with one.
Oh, 2 to Galvis.
He'll stay with it.
So back-to-back strikeouts for Gregerson.
No doubt what he was going to throw him there. 3 straight backdoor back foot breaking balls that he swung over it. That's a pitch he really struggles on.
Cameron Rupp had a single his last time up. It was an infield hit, his first big league hit. Carlos Ruiz has come out of the on-deck circle.
Stands really far away from home plate, off the plate, and you would think they're going to try and throw him away, and that's what they've been doing to him all night.
So they got away with one right there because it was in.
Yeah, if he was in a swinging mode right there, that's that one that a guy can stand off the plate will crush because it was a hanger middle end. You see, he's well off the plate.
Fly ball, shallow right field. Beneville started back. Now he comes running in. And that'll do it for the ball game. Phillies threaten in the bottom of the 9th inning, but do not score. And the Padres take game 1 of this 3-game series. 8-2, the final score. Jed Jerko had a big night offensively and defensively for the San Diego Padres. They banged out 13 hits overall, and they won it rather easily over the Phillies here on this Tuesday night.
Well, a Chevrolet player of the game has to be their starting pitcher tonight. Andrew Cashner did a great job. Almost got through the 8th inning, 7 2/3. Started out with a real good slider, as you're seeing on strikeouts there to Jimmy Rollins. Another breaking ball there, but his fastballs would set up all these breaking balls. That was probably not a strike, but he moved his fastball around really well and was showing a lot of strikeouts that he had on sliders, and that's because he was able to get ahead a lot of times by locating his fastball.
So he is our Chevrolet player of the game. The Phils lose game 1 of this 3-game series to the San Diego Padres. 8-2 the final score. We'll be back to talk more about it right after this.